Scream is a song that's a little darker and a little more vicious, I guess, than some of the stuff we've done before.
Definitely a very focused song. Right from the beginning, we really wanted to slow this record down, have it be a really groove-oriented album. We've never really done that kind of stuff. The Rev is a freak when it comes down to laying just a wonderful groove down.
We wanted to slow down the record to a tempo of about like 140, kind of the idea of where your heart rate is.
And we just wanted it to have a ton of vibe and just a ton of energy.
It almost has like a modern, old school, very, very early Avenged Sevenfold dark vibe.
Lyrically, we wanted it to be like kind of like almost not violent, but like a pleasure through killing type of a vibe.
That one rules. I don't think we need any more. Or maybe one more?
Shits and giggles.
One more, shits and giggles.
There's a few parts in that song that we tried that have never been done by us, like the incorporation of using extreme sub bass.
We got our buddy J.E., hip-hop producer, actually, to come in and do some 808 blasts, and he made all those, and it came out really great. We just heard those a couple weeks ago for the first time.
Dude, the backups and screams are crazy. Mix?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been listening to that. Is it up a little louder or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you have a system with subs, you're actually going to hear just this super low sub bass come in, and it'll just rattle your speakers, and I think that's something that, you know, hard rock, heavy metal bands and songs haven't really done.
We're in Vegas a lot, and I like to gamble. I love to gamble.
That's a good time.
I was like, you know, that chromatic scale when you pull down a slot machine. I was like, that'd be pretty fucking sick as a riff. Zachy came back with a full-on chromatic scale.
Like,
you know, he took the idea and it was awesome. He sent us this demo of it. We're like, yeah, that's perfect. That's really cool. Brian went home and he came up with the kind of added a little more groove to it. The he's always been a really big fan of those type of like grooving, like bending, huge guitars. He just loves that stuff, and he loves it when it's a little bit out of tune and a little bit, you know, wavering a little bit, so it's not too pretty sounding. The guitar solo, we were actually lifting weights, working out, and I was like, dude, you know what would be cool on the beginning of the record would be if you just shredded over something and you didn't even really have any notes. You're just doing a motif of like a over and over and over.
Okay.
And the solo is the hardest solo to play because it's all picked. It may sound like it's something else, but it's all picked. It's all those fast, ridiculous triplets, and I don't know how I'm going to play it live, but we'll figure it out.
That's a badass solo.
it's a song that you could definitely bang your head to, or you can always see one of your favorite dancing girls dancing to it.
To me, this song with the riffs and stuff was like a strip club anthem, you know, just pure groove. Girls can dance to it. At the end of that song, we kind of wanted to make it like kind of coming in and out and a little bit more of like a euphoric type of feeling. So me and our engineer Fred sat up really late one Saturday night and we started messing around with samples and with delays and reverbs and different sorts of things. And we sat there and just took all my vocals and took them apart and let them go through it.
I love
I like
it.
the way it goes, it like blends into the chorus.
That's the craziest, yeah.
So that's what Scream came about. We didn't want it to be like, oh, here's a grooving part and we're gonna ruin it with a fast part. Kept the whole thing grooving, the whole thing's the same tempo, and it just always makes you bop your head. You'll never hear a part in that song where you don't just want to go like this.
Afterlife is a really interesting song.
It's just a really adventurous song, probably one of the longer tracks on this record.
We were all frantically writing, trying to come up with the best stuff. And Jimmy was actually kind of AWOL for a little while. And we were really trying to get him to come in and write and stuff.
Just a spoonful of Jimmy helps the whole world go down.
He came one day and said, I have a song for you guys. Little did we know he had this full song that he'd been, hoarded away in his house writing. And we heard it and we just flipped out. He just really stepped up to the plate and typical the Rev fashion, the chorus is extremely catchy. It has a pop element, but in a more like somber tone. Lyric-wise, it's really a cool concept because you can apply it to, you know, your own life and relationships and stuff, but that's not what it's intended for. The actual storyline is about a person that finds themselves in the afterlife and they realize they have too much stuff left on Earth to do, and to go back and make it right, you know, they have to escape from their afterlife so they can go back and make amends with the people they love and care about.
Imagine if there is a heaven and you're a crappy person in real life and you show up and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I was a crappy person. That's kind of the hell of dying too early, and it's kind of just saying, you know, be a better person now. You know, I have family and friends and I don't want to make the same mistake again. And in this instance, it looks like the person's going to get a second shot. And all of a sudden these laughs come from everywhere. The Rev did those. Can you try to track a more like defined laughs, like that are not so distorted? You know, he just went in there and started laughing. He was laughing so hard, and he wasn't even, nothing was funny. He was just laughing, and I was laughing my ass off in the control room just because it just seemed so funny to me that he was doing laugh tracks over and over and over.
Awesome. Dude, you're a fucking genius, dude.
To throw that in this song is the fucking best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
During the demoing of the song, we had strings on the keyboard that we were playing, and we eventually got to have Mark Mann come in.
One of the great things about Avenged Sevenfold, the guys, is that they're brave enough to try new things. They're also confident enough to know that their songs and their musicianship are just so great that they allow someone to come in and arrange things or add things, and that's a great honor. I mean, it's trust.
And that was really cool to work with him. He came in and did all the string parts that we wanted to have an intro and then slam into our traditional Avenged Sevenfold duels.
Sin's solo's out of control.
We had the string players, and we were playing through the song, and then it comes to the guitar solo, and Brian's guitar solo is just blistering. And Miles, the bass player, was just listening on his headphones, and he just had to turn around and look at the control room, and just with the biggest grin. And when that take was done, he just came out with, "My God, that's the greatest guitar solo I think I've ever heard."
The solo in Afterlife was definitely a trek. It wasn't really written before the studio. I try and get as many solos written before I get in the studio as possible. It creates a better vibe that way, and from what I gathered, the Rev wanted something ridiculously crazy.
On Afterlife, all the guitar work that Finn does on the album is just mind-boggling, you know?
Well, you have the force. And it's a good look for you, too.
Fuck! Let's do it again.
Do it again?
That one sucked. Just listen to it.
And even though it doesn't necessarily fit the song, it's at, I think, its finest. It's definitely the most shredding solo on the album. It's ridiculous. It was fun to definitely push the boundaries. I've done stuff that I never thought I could ever play. It's definitely a great feat as far as I'm concerned.
That's just one of 11 examples of amazing fucking guitar solos.
That's how that song came about, and we're really proud of it. I think the Rev did an amazing job, and he really came up big on that song, and hell yeah. Hello?
Scream when dead.
Fred's fucking with us.
Fred needs a refresher course. Let's go back to Full Sail.
Oh, Fred didn't like that.
All right. Got a little more run up?
Got it now.